Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from. The county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, Cleophas Malala today addressed the media. And Cleophas Malala dropped some bombshell. According to Cleophas Malala, he was removed for being an associate of none other than the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and that his ouster was orchestrated by two individuals: the Kikuyu Member of Parliament, Honorable Ichung'wah, and the Embu Governor, Her Excellency Cecily Mbarire.
In this regard, ladies and gentlemen, I wish to state as follows. One, that as highlighted above, my alleged removal as UDA Secretary General was outright unlawful, unfair, and a sheer blatant contravention of the party constitution and laid down processes. Sadly, this coup was plotted and executed by senior party officials who are otherwise expected to protect and uphold the same constitution. Neither were any charges preferred against me in public or private to warrant and justify my removal, nor was I given an opportunity to defend myself as required by law and the rules of natural justice. I was convicted and sentenced without trial because my aggressors had nothing against me, to the extent that none of them could sign and date the statement that purportedly communicated my ouster. That this coup was plotted and orchestrated by two senior party officials alongside others within the party secretariat. These senior officials are Mrs. Cecil Mbarire and Mr. Kimani Ichung'wah, MP for Kikuyu constituency. That my ouster by the above officials had nothing to do with incompetence or my inability to run the UDA party, but was a well-choreographed script intended to climax with the impeachment of the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. My close and inevitable working relationship with the Deputy President, who is also the UDA Deputy Party Leader, act them. And when their concerted effort, lobbying and coercion to set me against my Deputy Party Leader failed, I was effectively profiled and labeled as an obstacle towards their evil plots and conspiracy to have His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua impeached. It is not a coincidence, therefore, that one of the coup plotters' accomplices, Mr. Hassan Omar, was unlawfully proposed as my immediate replacement. Let it be known that the planned impeachment of the Deputy President had nothing to do with President William Ruto, the broad-based government, or any other narrative the coup plotters have advanced. The impeachment had everything to do with egocentric 2027-2032 politics from the Mount Kenya region and was instigated and propelled by Mrs. Cecil Mbarire and Mr. Kimani Ichung'wah. These two want our Deputy President out so that they can strategically position themselves within the emerging political realignments.
That is Cleophas Malala. And in this video, I want us to do a critical analysis about that aspect of his speech where he's accusing William Ruto's close allies, Kimani Ichung'wah and Cecily Mbarire. Because remember, facts are always stubborn in politics. And there are three facts which we can't run away from in UDA party. The first fact is that Cleophas Malala was never an insider in UDA party. Cleophas Malala should ask himself how he found himself as the Secretary General of UDA party before going outside there to make noise, because he was an outsider. Just like, for example, Mbarire is in the cabinet today. But the truth is, John Mbarire is not a UDA insider. So he cannot claim to know more about UDA than the UDA people. Cecil Mbarire, he's accusing, and Ichung'wah were founding members of UDA party. So that's a fact which Cleophas Malala must understand. The second fact which Cleophas Malala must understand is that Ruto is UDA party, and UDA party is Ruto. If Ruto wanted Malala to stay as the Secretary General of UDA party, Malala would still be serving as the UDA party Secretary General, which means Malala committed some mistakes and William Ruto did not see any need of keeping him. And the third fact which Malala should appreciate is that UDA has factions. There is William Ruto's faction, and of course there is also the Rigathi Gachagua's faction. So in this video, I want us to focus on the aspect of that particular statement. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also take this opportunity to thank the following people. You are seeing their names on the screen there for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting the channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing on your screen. A cup of coffee only goes for 200 shillings. Ladies and gentlemen, let us listen again very briefly to Cleophas Malala.
In light of the above, and in appreciation and respect of established internal party organs responsible with handling such matters, I have forwarded a petition contesting my purported removal as Secretary General to the party's internal disputes resolution committee for adjudication and justice, and I confirm my availability for hearing and presentation of my case as and when required. This is also because some of the issues raised in my petition are very, very, very sensitive, with potential to harm the image of the UDA party if exposed to the public through an open court. But I will not hesitate to take the next move if I don't get justice from the party's internal dispute and resolution committee. For the purpose of clarity, the matter before the political parties dispute tribunal, which I filed immediately after my supposed ouster, is for the sake of obtaining orders to stop the process of my replacement by the UDA party and the registrar of political parties until my substantive issues are fully heard and determined by the internal party organ responsible for disputes, that is IDRC.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us agree that Cleophas Malala was never an insider in UDA party, and therefore he had to be stopped. But having listened to his statement, I'm coming to the following conclusion. That number one, Cleophas Malala failed to understand his assignment in UDA party, why he was appointed to serve as the Secretary General of UDA party. Allow me to remind Cleophas Malala that if he didn't know, he was appointed as the Secretary General of UDA party not to become Rigathi Gachagua ally the way he's suggesting. He was appointed to frustrate Rigathi Gachagua because William Ruto needed an outsider. William Ruto wanted to disrupt UDA party because remember, Rigathi was part of UDA from the onset, Ruto part of UDA, and William Ruto wanted to conduct UDA elections. And of course, he brought on board someone like Musalia Mudavadi. He wanted the party now to face Western. So he brought on board Malala. And the main reason why Malala was brought on board was one, to tame Rigathi Gachagua. Then Malala goes ahead without shame and becomes Rigathi Gachagua's ally. There were UDA elections, and William Ruto wanted to use that UDA elections to remove allies of Rigathi Gachagua. Then Malala, being the Secretary General, was trying to facilitate Rigathi allies to win. There was no way he was going to be allowed to continue serving. So for me, Rigathi Gachagua Cleophas Malala just committed that single mistake, failing to understand the objective why he was appointed. Because the truth is, if William Ruto wanted Malala as the Secretary General today, he would still be the Secretary General. Number two, the fact that Cleophas Malala has now come out openly. And Malala is very clear on two aspects. That number one, his removal was as a result of attempts to impeach Rigathi Gachagua. And it's also coming out clearly that these guys were not comfortable with his closeness to Rigathi Gachagua. And is acknowledging that he's close to Rigathi Gachagua. And because Cleophas Malala is acknowledging that is close to Rigathi Gachagua, I'm 100% certain that before he went and addressed the press, he discussed with Rigathi Gachagua. And Rigathi Gachagua gave him the go-ahead to issue that statement. And by doing that, I'm seeing Rigathi Gachagua's camp fighting back. So it is just their fight back strategy. I don't know whether they'll be able to sustain it, but right now is that right moment for Rigathi Gachagua and his allies to fight within UDA party. Because if they won't fight now, I can assure them they should forget about anything in 2027. They're going to be locked out. So that's number one. Number two. Number three, I'm also coming to the conclusion that Cleophas Malala has now decided to go directly for William Ruto. Why am I saying so? Ichung'wah is a known ally of William Ruto. Mbarire is a known ally of William Ruto. In his statement, Cleophas Malala is trying to exonerate William Ruto from the impeachment attempt on Rigathi Gachagua. The truth is, the person who wanted to impeach Rigathi Gachagua was none other than the president. The only thing that happened was that Rigathi Gachagua was able to outsmart them. Otherwise, if Rigathi Gachagua was just an ordinary person, he would have easily been impeached because ODM would have supported the impeachment, William Ruto with the team, and of course a few guys, and he was going to be impeached, and that was going to mark the end. But Rigathi Gachagua is not a pushover. He fought back. So I'm looking at Cleophas Malala as someone who is now out to go directly for William Ruto. Whether he's going to sustain is something which I still don't understand. Number four, I'm also looking at the possibility of a strategy to prepare the ground for a splinter group within UDA party. And now they have an excuse that Ruto is working with Raila Odinga. Their supporters are being frustrated. So let us wait and see. But I can assure you, we are likely to see a splinter group emerging from UD party. And that's why Cleophas Malala, in his press conference, was accompanied by those UDA members. He was telling everybody that mimi pia niko na supporters. Again, another mistake. You can never outshine your master. And lastly, the UDA elections are not going to proceed because Ruto was keen on removing Rigathi Gachagua's allies from the leadership of the party. He has removed Malala. Rigathi is now fighting back through Malala, which means at the end of the day, what we are going to see is that UDA will just try to survive. They will not proceed with the elections. And if those elections were to proceed, the fight, especially in the mountain, is going to be vicious. So I don't know what you think, but that's my take. And I want to tell Malala, ulikuja na moto sana. You ought to have learned from Sifuna. There can only be one boss. You listen to what the boss is saying, you follow. But there's no way you can listen to the boss, then at night you get another instruction from a man he wants to remove and expect to be safe. It can never happen. Bye-bye. For those who watch the video up to this stage, please let me know in the comment section. Bye-bye.